Well, Nigel, back into the swing of things this weekend, but just first of all, how was that trip to Portugal?
It was very good. We got a lot of very positive things out of it. It was a change of scenery. It was a chance for the players to maybe get to know the staff a bit better, and likewise for us to get to know the players that bit better, because you live in each other's pockets, so to speak. So we had some decent weather. And one or two rainy days as well, but it was perfect, because the preparation for this next group of games, it's hard to pick yourselves up, exactly where you were before. So it was very important for us to just get the mood right and make sure we get the work done on the training field as well.
And just in terms of stepping away from the football action as well, does it give you a little bit of a chance to reflect on the season so far?
Yeah, I mean we've if you like, looked at both parts of the season so far. We know where we need to improve. Certainly in the second group of games, we drew too many games, unfortunately, and that was in the end, that did took its toll on our ability to push for that top place. But we've made progress throughout the season. We've got some very talented young players coming through. And again, the Play-Off 2 gives us an opportunity to look at one or two more players with an eye on the rest of the season and next year.
Since you arrived, how do you feel the group has developed since then?
Well, you've got to look at the season in its entirety. I think we have to remember that a lot of this side were put together last summer, and quite a few of the players actually arrived in just before the window actually closed. So it's very much a new team, and I've made a few changes myself, but there is still an element of the players getting to know each other. You could say, well, a season in, they should know each other by now. They're a good group to work with. We've managed to move one or two players out who we didn't think were right for how we want to move forward. So that's as important as bringing players in, is trying to keep the squad competitive in the right areas. And so although there's still work to be done, and we need maybe to make one or two key additions to the squad in the summer, I'm very pleased with how the squad's developing.
Just in terms of the fitness of the squad as well, obviously there was a couple of problems before the little break, wasn't there? How are those players doing?
Yeah, we've not suffered too badly with injuries, although we've picked up some unavoidable ones in terms of contacts. So it's part and parcel of football, I'm afraid, is dealing with players either being missing through suspensions or injuries. But for the most part, we've managed those sorts of situations pretty well. You've probably heard me say loads of times in the past, it's an opportunity for somebody else when there are players missing, and that's very much how we view this. This next group of games, good for us because we'll be playing against some 1A sides, so the players will get a chance to judge themselves against 1A teams, but it does give us, I don't want to say experiment, because I don't want people to think that the games, and we're not taking the game seriously. I want us to do well in this group of games, but it is an opportunity with not high pressure in terms of league status for us to go and try a few things out, and the players should play with a bit of freedom in these games.
Just on Sunday's opponents as well, just how much of a challenge is that to be facing aside from the Pro League?
Yeah, I mean, Zulte Waregem, in my days at Newcastle, we played them in the Europa League, and it was, they've got a history of doing pretty well, and they've had a few, they've had a European campaign before, and there's a European place up for grabs this time. I think we'll see that the 1A sides will take it seriously, because it's a great opportunity for them to have a European competition. So we've got to play smart in these games, and we know they've got some decent players. They've had a bit of an up and down season in the sense that their home form has at times been very, very patchy, to say the least. But they finished the season pretty well at home. So, it'll be a tough game, bit of an unknown quantity in other ways as well. So, see how it goes.